guys, welcome back. It's me and Lisa. We're back with part 2 of our urban legend mini-series. Today we're going to be talking about hitchhiker ghosts. It's a legend that we've heard since we were small. It's a legend that we actually investigated before. If you were to go back in our investigations and see, it's something that we've actually experienced. So we're excited to talk to you about it. I know we found a lot more information that we did not know existed about hitchhiker ghosts. So here we go. So when I was doing some of the research, Lise, I did find out that the hitchhiker ghost phenomenon, urban legend, rumor started way back, even in like the Bible times. There's like a scripture in the Bible that says that there was someone that baptized a traveler, and after they baptized them, they vanished. So that's in the New Testament, Acts 8:26. If you guys want to check it out, it mentions a traveler that just vanishes in front of someone. So it dates back all the way to there. And then there's many stories in many states of the same thing happening. I know, Lisa, you've mentioned that there's kind of a one story thing that goes around about vanishing hitchhikers. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yes. I love that we're touching on this topic because it's so interesting, and so many people, not just in the States, but even beyond, have witnessed some kind of hitchhiking ghost. Right. So there has to be something to it. Now, it's interesting too that it dates back even to the Bible. I mean, you see it right in there that there was some kind of anomaly that came about and then vanished. So many people witnessed it from way back to even now, and all across different regions. Right. One that really intrigued me, Mags, while I was doing research, involves SCP Foundation. If you guys don't know what that is, they investigate paranormal activity to other abnormal things that go on in our world. Some is actually top secret. Now, supposedly, a whistleblower came on about and told an interesting story. This is one of the most interesting stories that intrigued me while I was doing research. It takes place in Muncie, Indiana. And the person that is involved in this is named Mary Tellish. Unfortunately, she was killed in some kind of ritualistic fashion. And some believe that may be the reason why she is a ghost hitchhiker. It dated back to the 1950s, where she was beaten brutally, her eyes were ripped out, her heart was ripped out. And ever since then, in the 1950s, she would walk along a road called Mayflower. And people have stopped to give her a ride. In one case, a man said that he was driving in the rain. He's seen a woman wearing white with a red sweater, and he stopped and asked her if she needs a ride. She agreed to it, and she gave him the directions to her parents' house. As this man is driving her, they pass a graveyard, and all of a sudden, she just goes berserk. She starts pounding on his window. She's yelling, and he stops the car. She runs out. He comes out of his car, and she's gone. He doesn't see her. So he gets back in the car. He notices that this woman leaves her red sweater in the vehicle. And he decides to go ahead and take it to the address that she gave him. So as he's telling this old woman who answers the door the story of what happened, she tells him, that can't be my daughter because she died 30 years ago. Now, this is in the documents. Whether it's fictional or factual, it's really intriguing, and it's really wild. So it goes further than that. After it's happening over and over and over, it's just a reoccurring event. It's one of the most reoccurring ghost hitchhiking events that take place in the US. when the SCP Foundation hears about this, they get involved because of all the reports that were reported that this ghost hitchhiking lady keeps reappearing, and it's about every month around the same time. So they decide to get involved, and this is top secret. And even the parents were not allowed to elaborate on this because they agreed to participate in this investigation with the SCP Foundation. So the SCP Foundation sends out agents every month down the Mayflower Road to investigate this ghost hitchhiking event. And some agents do come across her. They're told not to say anything to her, just take the red sweater, and they even had it in their containment. For some reason, around the same time of each month, it would just vanish from their containment. And believe it or not, this is going on for like 2 decades. They're investigating this. And I mean, this is something that they wanted to do. It's not like they didn't have to. And the SCP Foundation, maybe if this is a real event, it's classified and it's under the government. So, that's what just makes it really interesting. So the SCP Foundation hired a doctor named Dr. Lawson in the 70s. And he is like fed up of this. He's just fed up of this story. He's like, hey, gasoline prices are rising. This is just taking a big chunk out of our funds, which can go elsewhere, somewhere that's really needed. So he went behind his superior's back. He didn't go through appropriate channels, but he was given kind of a semi-approval to take out the parents, because in his mind, he felt if he were to remove the parents, this would all go away. There will no longer be any Mary Tellish trying to hitchhike, and they can save the company funds. He goes ahead and kills the parents and destroys the home. When in his mind, he's thinking this is going to resolve it. I'm going to be praised. The opposite happened. He was demoted, and many people in the department were really upset with him. If this was a branch of the government like the CIA, they can get away with doing things like that. I mean, if you do research, they have done things where killing is something that takes place in their studies, in their investigations. So this was nothing out of the ordinary. So the SCP Foundation, they noticed that Mary Tellish wasn't coming out any longer. Month after month, there were no reports. So they thought that, hey, maybe this was resolved. And Dr. Lawson was pretty happy at first, not because his demotion, but he thought that he resolved it. But something was eating away at him. And I don't believe it was his conscience, because if he went out and took out the parents, it just shows that he's probably cold-hearted, possibly a sociopath. So I don't believe it was his conscience eating at him. I believe something was eating at him. Maybe he was seeing something, but something drew him out to want to go investigate Mayflower Road after there were no reports of her coming out or appearing. So Dr. Lawson decided to go out after a year. He decided to go out to Mayflower Road and see for himself. So maybe Mary was drawing him out there. So he went ahead, had to see for himself. He was driving down Mayflower Road and he's seen nothing. He probably was relieved. As he got to the end of the road, he looked in his rearview mirror and someone was in the car with him. And that was the last time he was seen alive. SCP agents found him supposedly, and this is documented by the whistleblower, that his eyes were torn out and also his heart, the same way Mary Tellish died in a ritualistic fashion in the 1950s. And they found his recorder. He took a recorder with him to document it. And his last words were, "Wait, who the hell are you?" Now, for him to say, "Wait," it sounded like something might have been coming at him, possibly attacking him, for him to say, "Wait, who the hell are you?" And that was it. So that is one of the myths that surround the hitchhiking ghost story. What do you think, Max?
That's an amazing story. And the fact that these events are documented in, credible stages and incredible research, like the fact that this story is recorded within credible people that did the research, that's freaking phenomenal. Like, I know that we were talking about, or we saw the video of the police car chasing the car on the dash cam and then it just disappears. These are the stories that these people aren't trying to make things up. They're trying to get credible evidence to back up these urban legends or these rumors. And in this case, for the police officers, they're just trying to track down the car that's going a billion miles an hour and it just disappears. And they happen to catch the proof on the dash cam. We love these kind of stories because there's actual proof and actual research and things to back up this evidence. So that's awesome, Lise. What a great story. And it does bring out the urban legend and kind of make it seem like it's a factual thing that's been going on. Just like the investigation we went to on Reeder Road. If you guys seen that investigation, the reason why Reeder Road is haunted is because there's a hitchhiking ghost that is supposedly there. Her name is Elizabeth Wilson. It's almost the same story. She catches a ride. She died previously in a shallow body of water where she drowned in a car accident. So now the story goes is that she hitchhikes on Reeder Road, asks for a ride, and when she gets to the Ross Cemetery, she disappears. And that's what we were investigating. And we definitely found proof that something is there. We heard screams on our ghost box. If you Google some of the other investigators that investigated Reeder Road, you would hear the evidence that they have. There's definitely something there. There's an energy there. And for so many people to see the ghost of Elizabeth Wilson, how many times can a person repeat the story without being true? Like, how many times does someone have to see her in order for the story to be true? I feel like the story's true. I feel like a lot of the urban legend for vanishing hitchhikers is true. A lot of stories come from like truck drivers driving down the road on their dash cam. They'll see someone walking down on a lonely, dark road, and then they go back to check and there's no one there. There's tons of videos out there like that. So this urban legend is something that a lot of people have stories on that I feel personally it has to be true. Like, all these people aren't crazy, all these people aren't seeing things. So this is one of my favorite ones because it's been around for such a long time, but there's also so many questions still concerning this urban legend. Why are they repeating their steps to getting this ride and then disappearing and doing it all over again? Just like Mary Tellis, she said 20 plus years this has been going on, that the researching team has, they kept the sweater for so long and it would disappear and it would come back. But why? What are they not fulfilling? As maybe it's just that they died suddenly, that they are in this loop where they have to keep asking for a ride and doing this over and over again. Who knows? But it brings up the question, what will make them go in peace? That's the only part that I have questions on. Like, it's a reoccurring thing. Like, people see them doing the same thing. And it's kind of sad if you think about it. They're obviously not in peace if they're doing this. So it's a sad thing, but I think it's definitely a true story. It is considered an urban legend, but who knows?
Yeah, and it's so nice that we live right near Reeder Road. And over the years, I did go several times down Reeder Road just to see if maybe Elizabeth Wilson would pop up in my car. And during my ride there, I was questioning, do I really want a ghost popping up in my car, and I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, no, yes, no, I was battling myself.
Right.
I'm like, whatever you're going to say to it. Unfortunately, she never popped up in my car. It almost seems like she does pop up for the people that don't want to see a ghost. That's what it seems like. So I don't see that they would be making it up. People all across the U.S. and beyond. And with Mary Tellish's story, I mean, she may have got her revenge if that was a true story. And Mags, didn't they say something about Reeder Road that there may have been some kind of witchcraft, or I can't remember, but
There's a lot of things going on at Reeder Road. I know that there was the rumors of the 1920s, people would dump their bodies there, like the gangsters back in the day would dump their bodies back there. There was a church that supposedly caught on fire there, and people would commit suicide down in Reeder Road. And, there are documented suicides in that area, which is unfortunately true. But as far as witchcraft, I'm sure, when there's a bunch of energy and a lot of stories considered around ghosts and everything, you get those people that are very curious, and they want to see how far they can go. So I wouldn't doubt that people would probably bring like a Ouija board or some kind of seance type thing to a place like that has all that energy there. I feel like when we went, it was more of a paranormal research, investigating kind of session that we had. There's no disrespect in it, I don't think. We do talk to the spirits and tell them that we don't disrespect them. We're just there to talk to them. But I feel like when people are kind of ignorant on what they're doing, as far as seances and witchcraft and Ouija boards and everything in a place like that, where there's known suicides and deaths, I think it just adds and builds to that energy there. So I wouldn't doubt that there are like rumors of that stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem like there was a lot of negative energy there in Reeder Road. And remember, Max, when we were about to leave Reeder Road, the ghost detector was going berserk.
It was.
As we said the prayer. Mm-hmm. And after, I'm not sure if it was it after or before the prayer? Maybe it was after. It just stopped. It was done with, like they left.
Yeah, I actually forgot I had it on, and then we're like, what in the world is going on? Because we were obviously done with our investigation. We have done our prayer and everything, and we're getting ready to go, and like it was crazy at that time. We definitely did not expect that.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I wish I caught the whole thing on camera, but
yeah, but it was unexpected, so we didn't have anything on or anything like that. But by the time we got it on, we got the little bit of it that was still going.
We should have looked in the back seat at that time.
Oh, I know. I don't know if I want to look in the back seat.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this, if witchcraft plays a part in why some ghosts linger around. I mean, they said things were going on at Reeder Road, some kind of witchcraft possibly. And then with Mary Tellish, she was killed in a ritualistic fashion. I mean, does this play a part? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that there's some kind of witchcraft going on that's trapping these spirits in, or do you think it's just something random? But I just don't see how any of us can close the door to this urban legend. It's one of my favorite urban legends. It's just so interesting because so many people around the world have witnessed it, even during Bible times. It's
That's what I'm
documented.
saying. Like there, this urban legend has to be. I mean, it to me, it's true. I definitely think that this type of spirit is wandering around, asking for rides and showing up in people's cars. I mean, I think it's a true story.
Maybe we'll
Even
get
though it's
lucky
been,
one day, Max. Maybe, like Elizabeth Wilson will one day pop up.
yeah, you have to
Hopefully, I
be
got the
here when that
camera on her.
happens. Yeah, exactly. We'll have our little cameras ready and everything when that happens. Another thing, Lace, is that even Disney got into the hitchhiking ghost urban legend. The movie, The Haunted Mansion, features three ghosts, and they're all hitchhikers, which is really cool. This is something that I saw in the research that I did. In the movie The Haunted Mansion, they do feature three ghosts named Gus, Ezra, and Phineas, and they are all hitchhiking ghosts. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney even caught in with that little urban legend too.
Cool. Hey, and you guys out there, have you experienced a hitchhiking ghost in your car? Let us know. I mean, hey, you don't have to share it publicly if you don't want to. Go ahead and DM us. Like, we really want to hear your stories.
We do want to hear your stories, or if it's not you, someone that you know. I know a lot of these urban legends type things get passed on from generation to generation. Do you have a story that maybe your father told you or your mom told you? Let us know. We would love to hear these stories. Well, thanks, guys, for listening to our podcast. As always, please hit that like button, subscribe. We are coming back at you with the third part of our mini series for the third part of the Urban Legend mini series. And let us know if you have any suggestions for different things that you would want us to discuss. We are always open for suggestions. So we will see you guys next time, and like and subscribe. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks.